Alright, hello there everyone, this is Kingdom, welcoming you to another game from the Alienware Arena Invitational Tournament. This is, again, TurnofFate versus GloryPushMid. Game 2, TurnofFate on the Dire now, GloryPushMid on the Radiant. Game 1 was a victory to TurnofFate, and that one's up on my channel already, so if you haven't watched it, go take a look at it. This game we see the Bat Rider again, picked up by TurnofFate in the first round of picks. Jakiro and Tidehunter already as well. First pick, though, is to GloryPushMid. They've got a Darkseer, a Leshrac, and a Sven already, so that Sven's gonna be their carry. Darkseer probably gonna be the long lane. Leshrac supporting the Sven, as it's good follow-up combo to the Sven stun. You get the Sven stun hitting 1 or 2 people, Leshrac stun falls up, hits another 1 or 2 people, and you got a long duration stun there. Leshrac also does some damage, so it's easy to chain that up and do a lot of work in a tri-lane situation. On the other side, though, you see some really good tri-lane heroes picked up by TurnofFate as well. At Tidehunter, probably going to be long lane. Bat Rider, probably going to be jungling it up again. Jakiro is going to be in the tri-lane, one of the best tri-lane heroes in the current patch. That Ice Path, of course, is such a strong stun. And a lot of really solid bans. Bounty Hunter banned up this game, as well as the Dirge, Magnus, and Chen actually was first banned, which isn't really surprising. It's TurnofFate. They really rely a lot on their Chen. He does a lot of work for them. Devdus, of course, very good Chen player. Bane's going to be picked up here, so that's probably going to be the solo mid for GPM. Looking forward to seeing that one work out well. Windrunner is the next pickup. Going to be probably a PN solo mid Windrunner then, which has done a lot of work. Might as well be Light of Heaven on that Windrunner. I mean, that's a joke that he'd appreciate. I'm going to see a Blink Dagger up on the Blade, maybe some PGG skills there. Very, very strong hero if he gets farmed, gets some levels. They can also put him into the tri-lane, pick up a different hero for that solo mid position, of course. Bane does a lot against right-click carries. That Enfeeble, of course, is just absolutely such a strong skill. Minus 120 damage is a lot through all stages of the game. Doing a lot to take out a heavy late game carry, so we'll have to see what TurnofFate pick up to be their carry. Lifestealer is actually going to be a pickup from GPM, so it looks like they're either going to run that Lifestealer into the jungle Bane mid and then Sven Leshrac dual lane, or they can make it a Bane Lifestealer dual lane as well as a Leshrac Sven dual lane with the Darkseer still into the long lane. So either way, you've got 2 carries getting farm up for GloryPushMid style, which means that TurnofFate are going to have to do some work to make sure that their carry gets farm, because otherwise they will be outclassed in the late game by GloryPushMid. Lifestealer and Sven, both very strong late game carries, a lot of damage. Just taking time to think it over, PN trying to decide what carry he wants. Chaos Knight is out. Void is an option. If he can get farmed enough, he can definitely take care of both Lifestealer and Sven. Of course, that Void ultimate going through Magic Immunity, as well as revealing invisible units and just basically being badass. Also got the option of an anti-mage. You can run like a Jakiro anti-mage lane, which shouldn't be too bad. It looks like GloryPushMid will not be aggressive tri-laning, so an anti-mage could get some pretty safe farm up. As would, of course, a Phantom Lancer, although he might not do very well against the Sven's cleave, but he can definitely be a scary late game carry. Spectre is another option. They can get a Spectre for some global domination as well as some Radiance burn damage. I don't know, maybe not the best option. Spectre is not too strong in the current picks. They got a couple options here. Gotta pick something though, time is running out. Only 30 seconds left before the pick goes to random. And we'll have to see what these guys decide to throw down. It's going to come down to how well their laning stage goes, and a likelihood if they can get an advantage early on in the game with some Bat Rider ganks, some Jakiro ganks, and Windrunner doing a lot of work in the mid lane, then you might be able to see a single carry lineup doing very well. It's going to be the Void. So if that Void gets farm quickly at the beginning of the game, he will outclass that Sven and Lifestealer around the 25-30 minute mark with, say, like a Battle Fury and a Mjolnir, or Battle Fury and a Butterfly, something like that. And that will allow him to be a lot harder of a carry in the mid game than Sven and Lifestealer, who will be splitting farm and possibly not laning as well because they're not having a tri-lane to protect. One of them is going to be dual mid. So we're going to wait for people to pick up their heroes so that I can introduce the teams. And we'll see how this laning is going to work out. I'm suspecting Sven and Leshrac will lane together, Bane and Lifestealer together, or Lifestealer could jungle with a Bane solo mid. Winner should do well against either of those lanes, the Bane Lifestealer or Leshrac Sven. It all depends on how carefully she can position herself, avoid some stuns, or Nightmare is capable of staying pretty far back. So why is it on dark camera? I told it to be free camera. There we go. It's free camera now. Alright, so on the GloryPushMid side, Radiant, we've got Smog on the Lifestealer, Nurkid on the Leshrac, Doomsday on the Sven, Shunning on the Bane, and Waves of Mutilation on that Darkseer headed up to the long lane. On the other side, for the Dire, we see Giggles McMuffin on that Void, Devdis on the Jungling Batrider, Kekwan on the Jakiro, Static playing that Tidehunter up, and PN on the Windrunner, who will be headed solo mid. He's got possibly actually headed long lane. We'll see here. Yeah, it looks like Windrunner is actually headed towards the long lane. Static's going to be Static's actually going to solo mid the Tidehunter, unless I'm wrong here. Actually, everyone's headed down to the bottom lane. Are they taking this into an aggressive tri-lane? They could lane the Batrider up solo top in that case against the Darkseer, where he should do a fairly good job. Of course, those napalm stacks won't be as annoying against a Darkseer as they would against any other hero. And of course, an aggressive tri-lane can work out because it looks like there's going to be no. We're just going to see a Lifestealer solo mid by himself. Sven's going to hit 2 here. Here comes an Ice Path, though. Sven could be in trouble. Leshrac's Stun's going to catch a couple. Oh, Shackle's going to latch onto 2. This is definitely going to be your first blood. Windrunner picks it up. Nightmare down on the Void to slow him down. They're going to continue chasing this Bane. I don't think they'll be able to get him. 2 napalm stacks. There's an Ice Path going to miss, so these guys will back off, having picked themselves up a first blood. Going to the Windrunner, actually, so she's got a very good start for whichever lane she decides to go to. We'll see Faceless Void and Jakiro headed back up towards the top lane now. That's where they're going to sit and chill for this game. They're going to be up against the Darkseer solo there. Mid looks like it will be the Batrider, perhaps. No, looks like Windrunner's going to back off and head towards the mid lane now after dropping a couple wards. Static will be playing that long lane Tidehunter. No, we're going to see a dual mid coming out of the TurnofFate side. Jakiro and Void up against a Lifestealer. Lifestealer should have a lot of difficulty in this lane. He's going to end up a little bit behind. Ice Path thrown down for some harass. And of course, Giggles McMuffin is going to be able to farm fairly well in this lane. Doesn't have a last hit yet. He should get some soon. Smog is going to be last hitting. No, actually, the only one with the last hit in this. No one has last hit, and no last hits in this lane yet. So we see a dual long lane here. PN sitting up here on the Windrunner, and Static on the Tidehunter, so leaving this top lane completely open. Devdis not even going into lane against this Darkseer. He's just stacking up. No, he is actually going to go up into the lane, it looks like, heading up in that direction right now. And he should be able to lane just fine against the Darkseer. Darkseer, unfortunately, has a level advantage and already a point into Ion Shell, but Batrider ought to be able to hand it. He's a 600 range hero, I think. No, it's 375. So he's got a little bit of difficulty. Might have some difficulty with the Ion Shell, but should be okay. Looks like Static's actually rotating up towards the top lane, so he will be solo against the Darkseer. And we'll see PN sitting here on the long lane then. Already got some wards, got herself a Mantle Intelligence, possibly going for an early null, which could work into Dagon. That'd be exciting. Really the only item that works into, maybe just for last hitting damage in early game. Is kind of being forced back out of lane, even after that first blood and a very early boots, not able to go too far forward because she's got to be constantly in fear of a Nightmare, followed up by a Stormbolt, followed up by a Leshrac Stun. Here comes forward, there's the Nightmare. She's probably going to get brought down here, provided they can chain stun it correctly. No! Leshrac takes a Nightmare. He will be unable to follow up the stun, and PN will be fine, and gets to level 2. So, Shackle as well as Windrun, very timely Windrun there. And now, with Nightmare down, no, Nightmare's got a very short cooldown, only a 15-second cooldown, so it's already ready to go again. And PN will be able to get some last hits now. Gotta be careful though, because that Nightmare can come at any point in time. Up on the top, let's go ahead and take a look at our last hits. We see Sven at the top, Void in second, definitely outlaning the Lifestealer. Lifestealer is a little bit behind here, unable to quite handle himself against the Jakiro, who is providing a lot of support. Has an Illusion Rune coming forward. He's going to use that probably to harass this Lifestealer. Coming forward, push him backwards out of the lane. PN, in the meantime, is going to be in this top lane, continuing here. Bottom lane, Sven, of course, is the farming story right now. He's up to 7 denies, 15 last hits. He's probably going, we'll see what he's going for first. He's already got 1,000 gold up into the bank after falling to first blood. So that's still our only kill, actually. No kills on the Lifestealer yet. Actually, Lifestealer's doing a really good job forcing this Jakiro back. Jakiro a little bit too aggressive there. Those points into open wounds, slowing down the Jakiro. He's going to go ahead, salve, and clarity up, be just fine. Waiting for... I don't think they're going to be able to get a kill against the Lifestealer in this mid lane. Of course, he's got that magic immunity whenever he wants to pop it. Maybe if he can run out of mana after having to use it a couple times, they might be able to get a kill against him. Or Windrunner or Tidehunter are going to have to rotate in. Looks like Static's actually going to be pulling onto the top lane. Of course, he's not able to because it's cut off. So we see 2 people in this lane right now. Possibly a little bit excessive here. Not getting as much experience as they could. Level 3 up on the Tidehunter, and Bad Rider's already up to level 4, keeping up with the Darkseer. Actually, he's passed the Darkseer despite having level deficit earlier, so he's doing pretty well. Got 4 denies up already. Darkseer may have been pushed back out of the lane by the Tidehunter. So if we take a look at hero level right now, we see that Lifestealer's actually up on the top in the mid lane, solo against a dual lane, and then it's the Darkseer following. I don't know, it doesn't really do it all. But Void is also doing pretty well in the mid lane, and unfortunately, the rest of the Dire supports are not doing as well. Windrunner is still pretty low, Jakiro's low, and Tidehunter's very low. Unfortunately, the lowest is Leshrac. And then you've got your Bane, who's a little bit higher. Ooh, Darkseer goes down on the top lane. Devdus almost dies in the process, but it's okay. He's got 1,000 gold up. Should be able to get him some. He's got a salve, possibly also a clarity send to himself on the Courier. Courier should get upgraded by somebody. Static's got the gold for it. Does Jakiro have the gold for it? Jakiro has the gold, hasn't upgraded the Courier. Alright. Should happen at some point, I suppose. Maybe. You know, best case scenario. It looks like Smog's pretty low, hanging out here. If he gets stunned up, this could be a problem. He's taking a lot of harass from this liquid fire. Jakiro's dropping it on him every single time it's off cooldown, which is a very, very good way to do things. It's going to drop his attack speed, actually, as well as his damage. It's a very significant attack speed reduction. Even at level 1, it's a 20%. So more than Chilling Touch. Darkseer's going to come into the jungle now, try to get some levels up this way. Drops another ward to block off this pull camp. Fortunately, there's already creeps there, so there will be at least able to get one pull off. Haste Rune on the Lifestealer. He's going to come bottom with it. Maybe looking to kill this Windrunner. Unfortunately, the creep wave is pretty far forward. Shouldn't be able to get anything done there. He's going to rotate back towards the mid lane. Probably just use it to get some safer farm. Darkseer's coming into the mid lane. He's got an Ion Shell, but I don't think he's actually going to be able to do anything with it. Lifestealer is still hasted up so they can run in and pick off that open wounds really quickly. But it looks like Darkseer is rotating back up towards the top lane. Illusion Rune picked up again by the Jakiro, getting a lot of rune control here for him. Maybe he should even pick up a bottle. He's got 500 gold in the bank. I don't know what he's saving for. I mean, you're Jakiro. You don't need to save up money. Taking a look back at last hits, we see that Sven is getting a pretty decent advantage over the Void. I mean, you do expect Void to not do as well in the mid lane as he would in another lane, but he is at the same time keeping down that Lifestealer. Lifestealer only with 13 last hits. Unfortunately, your Windrunner's not doing very well at all, and your Batrider's only got 18 up on the top lane, so not quite as much as they would have wanted. Batrider's still low in terms of mana. He is level 6, so he can go and gank, possibly getting a kill on... It's going to be hard to gank that tri-lane. It's a very, very strong tri-lane. Probably the best option is to go mid, see if you can pick off that Lifestealer. If you can hit a stun on him with the Jakiro, you ought to be able to get into position. No, it looks like Batrider will be going bottom lane. Jakiro as well, looking to clash up against this tri-lane. You've got 2 stuns, as well as a Batrider lasso. Batrider, of course, massively outlevels anyone on this Radiant tri-lane. So this could go well if you can get a good lasso off and a good ice pass off. This could go very well for the Radiant. Windrunner sitting pretty far back, doesn't have mana, so that is one unfortunate thing. We're going to see some napalm stacks going down. Looks like the mid lane has been vacated. I don't know where Void went. Void went ahead and rotated up to the top. Okay, he's going to see if he can get a little bit safer farm up here. Level 5, he's about to hit 6, so that will allow him. Yeah, he's 6 now, so he's got the Chronosphere. If he can get that Chronosphere off while Darkseer is under tower range without, of course, hitting the tower with the Chronosphere, that might he might be able to get a solo kill there. Meanwhile, the action's going to be on this bottom lane, so let's go ahead and pay attention down here. Looks like this clash may be going pretty soon. We've got 1 mana for 1 spell up on the Windrunner, so if she can hit a Shackle, that'll be pretty strong. Lifestealer heads back to the mid lane. No, he's picking up a Haste Rune, so he may try and do something up here. TP into the mid lane. That's going to be the Tidehunter. He's just going to lane against this Lifestealer. Lifestealer may try and go in. Unfortunately, there's a level of Kraken Shell up on the Tidehunter, so he will not be able to be brought down by open wounds. It will, of course, debuff at 600 damage, and then he will have full movement speed again. PN's still waiting for more mana. Jakira's sitting really far back. I don't know if this is the best option for these guys. They're really not getting any experience this way. They would have spent their time a lot better trying to get a gank off on the Lifestealer mid. They can still do it now. Batrider's headed that way. He's got the lasso. All they need is for a gush to hit for the slow. Going to see Gush maybe in the near future. Yeah, we're going to see the Gush. Attempted body block. Not going to be enough. Lifestealer infests in. Gets some health. Goes in on the Tidehunter, but that's not the right decision. He's raged up, so he's magic immune. Will get picked up by the lasso here. Should go down right now. He's on top of the flame. He's trying to get away. He's got a little bit of speed left. Does he have the ability to get away? Slowed down by a napalm stack. Ice Path is going to hit a couple more right clicks. He goes magic immune. Is there one last right click from the winner? Picks it up. That's 3-0 now for the Dire with that early game advantage. Chrono Void, though, in the meantime, unfortunately, this isn't working out for them in terms of farm. Void is already 10 less hits behind the Sven, and Sven is getting basically free farm at this point. He's level 5, has treads as well as the beginning of a BKB, so he's getting up there in terms of farm, getting some last hits stolen by his supports. No big deal. Lestrak's going to go ahead and turn on his Edict to try and take this tower. It should fall right here. Sven going to take some tower shots, and Gnome does not get the last hit. That last hit will go to the Radiant, so gold is spread around the team. Lestrak's also got himself a lot of gold as well. Probably going to get some boots now. Does he have boots already? Doesn't have boots. Probably going to go for an early arcane boot. Boots also up on the Bane already as well, so I think the Radiant supports do have a little bit more gold than their Dire counterparts. Our push is going really far on this bottom lane. Looks like there's going to be a trade for the mid-tier 1. Unfortunately, it's not going to do altogether that much. They could potentially lose this tier 2. No creeps come in, and they're forced to back off on the top lane. Muffin is getting chased here. Darkseer doing some damage, possibly going to take this top tower now. Giggles can try and jump in and attack, but unfortunately that Ion Shell prevents him from doing so. Of course, that Ion Shell will still deal damage during a Chronosphere. Giggles probably waiting for that to come off. See, Batrider's coming up here with his lasso, so if this could be a problem for the Darkseer. No, he's going to back off intelligently. Sees the rest of the Radiant team are missing. So a big tower advantage right now taken by the Radiant. This means that they've probably got a pretty good gold advantage in addition to Sen's farming at 2,000 gold up on them, as well as experience is sitting pretty even. Of course, there was a little bit of spread issues on the Dire side, but at the same time there was a Radiant tri-lane as well, so not altogether that much difference in experience. Oh, Darkseer's going to get caught out here, trying to go in for the Batrider. Batrider's probably just going to pick him up with a lasso. He's low, though. Oh, there's the stun coming in from the Jakiro. Can we see? No, not able to lasso. Just doesn't have the health for it. Here comes the Chronosphere, though. This ought to be a kill. Follow up from an Ice Path as soon as it's over. Nope, not even necessary. Void gets the kill there. 4-0. And already a Mask of Madness up on this Void. So he's got a lot of early game damage potential now. Bane in the meantime gets a kill on the mid lane against the Windrunner. Sven also picking off the Batrider in the jungle. Sven going very aggressively up into the enemy jungle. Of course, Chronosphere is on cooldown, so there's no real danger of him dying. It looks like the push is going to go mid lane. See, Leshrac is here. Doesn't really have mana. No, he does have mana for one spell. Probably an Edict once they clear out this creep wave. Sven already no points into cleave, so he's going for a very safe build. 2 points up into the Warcry already, giving him that move speed bonus. And we're going to see the Edict pop, so this is going to be a very dead Dire tier 1 tower. That's going to get dropped very quickly. Tidehunter rolls in. He's going to be able to slow down this push a little bit with Anchor Smash. The Lifestealer's low, though. They can get an Ice Path off, followed up by a lasso. He could go down. No range for the Ice Path. Good positioning from the Radiant, backing off. Void, though, is still farming on the top lane, so up to treads already, so he's probably leading in net worth. Let's go take a look. No, that's buyback. Here's net worth. No, net worth is taken by the Sven right now. He's had the better farm, and he's got a kill even after that death. He's got his BKB is up as soon as the courier will get to him, and I think with that item, he can probably just go ahead and start pushing pretty aggressively. See the Radiant making their way up into the Dire jungle, probably looking to pick off this Void, slow down his farm. He's in a bad position. If he can get caught out by a Nightmare, he could be in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, the Dire team has rotated all up into the top lane, so we do see that this is probably going to be... Yeah, the Radiant are going to have to back off. We're not going to be able to take this fight here. The whole Dire team is available, and Ravage is up, so that team fight would not go well for them. So Radiant are going to back off to their tower, push the lane out, possibly going for a tier 2 push. Where is Sven? He's in his base. Picking up that BKB, waiting patiently for the gold to buy that TP scroll. I mean, doesn't have the... Yeah, okay. Oh no, I'm sorry, I missed the team fight already breaking out. Double kill onto the Leshrac. Void's gonna get stunned up though. Sven's come in with the BKB, gets a double kill. Void was unable to get his ultimate off, didn't have the mana. Nightmare up on somebody. It's the Windrunner who was chasing the Bane. Bane's got 2 HP now, so Windrunner has to back off. She's got some gold left. Lifestealer chasing up this Jakiro. Jakiro probably will not get out here. He's just gonna drop off as much damage as he can. Windrunner's like, nope, don't want to be here. Gonna back off. She's got a Windrunner up. Should be fine. Will back out. Of course, Earn Charge being thrown against her by the Bane. Not enough damage to bring Windrunner down. Got the Phase Boots. Might be able to get out here. Getting chased. Another Earn Charge. She's going to get brought down really low by this. She's going to get cut down coming this way. Best option might even be to deny herself to neutrals. No, she's going to get a Haste Rune. She'll be absolutely fine. Yelda goes, no! Here comes the Darkseer picking off with the Vacuum. Long chase. Ending without any fruition. Void got picked off in that fight there, was unable to get his ultimate off. That was big. Didn't have the mana for that. Bane probably used his ultimate on that Void, and of course it drains some mana, 5% mana per second. And Void's a really mana-dependent hero early in the game. Wasn't able to switch his treads up, get that very critical extra mana to get the Chronosphere off. Chronosphere is so important in these early game engagements, especially with some ranged heroes like the Jakiro Macropyre, Windrunner right clicks, and possibly some Firefly damage on top of it. Can be very, very dangerous for those early mid-game fights, especially with this combo. Tidehunter Ravage also was used in that fight and enabled him to get an early advantage, but unfortunately they weren't able to hold it through the rest of the team fight. So we're going to see, kind of going back to farming, we see Lifestealer and Sven have both passed the Void in net worth, and this is getting dangerous because if Void doesn't catch up quickly, say get a... I don't think he needs a BKB. You've got that, you've got too much that goes through BKB on the Radiant team. Your Bane will probably just save that ultimate to catch the Void while he's in the Chronosphere. Probably a better item might be straight into... I'm not really sure. Battle Fury is a little bit too late in the game for Battle Fury right now. It'll accelerate his farm, but possibly not by enough. Possibly just a straight damage item might be better. Go for a Glass Cannon build, maybe a Butterfly, Mjolnir, something like that. We will see that Darkseer has rotated up to the top lane, slowing Void down, preventing him from pushing. In the meantime, mid lane, we see a collection of 4 Radiant heroes possibly looking to push in for that tier 2 tower. We see Sven has an Invis Rune and is also infested. He's going to run up onto the Dire high ground, and this could be pretty bad. People are grouping up. There's a stun, followed up. Immediately, the Jakiro gets brought down. Tidehunter is the next one in trouble. He's got a Ravage, but he's not going to be able to get it off. There goes the Knight. The, whatever that thing is called, Fiend's Grip gets dropped on him immediately, so double kill, going to the Leshrac, actually, getting both of those last hits. Batrider's here, he's just going to lay down some Firefly to protect the tower. The Windrunner is here as well, dropping off as much power shots as she can, slowing down the push. Oh, apparently the Napalm stacks go through, Magic Community. That's interesting. Lifestealer's a little low. Going to go ahead and drop off his armlet, get healed up by the Earn Charge. Void continues his farming quest. He's actually is going to go, looks like he might go for the Battle Fury. That could also be crits. Oh, he's going to go ahead and drop his ultimate. Has the right click damage. Might be able to bring this down. Can we get a Lucky Bash? Yeah, there's your bash, but that damage from the Ion Shell is just too much. Now he's on the back foot. He does have the move speed to get out of here. Go ahead and jump back into the trees. Here, could vacuum to kill those trees. No, it's on cooldown. Already was used. Now here comes a team fight up further down. We see the lasso was already used, unable to get the kill on the Leshrac. Leshrac low, one power shot might be able to pick him off. Can we get the power shot? No mana for it. Double Urn here. Urn is going to heal him up, so he will be alive. Just fine, and Void Ultimate's down. There is a Ravage, though, as well as a Macropyre, so I think this tower defense might be successful. It's a little iffy, though, because as you can see, the Sven already with the BKB and Lifesteal going for that Mask of Madness, and Lifestealer has his armlet up, as well as what, is he getting a BKB? He might be. I'm going to assume that's what the Ogre Club is there for. You can see this tier 2 tower going down pretty quickly here, as Leshrac is in position with a maxed Edict, so that's a lot of damage to that tower. Void's coming around. He's got another 45 seconds to a Chronosphere, so if this can be delayed long enough for another Chronosphere to be off cooldown, we might be able to see a little bit better of a team fight. Lasso also will be cooling down another 25 seconds, so all the dire ultimates will be up in the near future. There is a wall, but we'll see Flame Break being launched out just to deal some damage. Vacuum not going to catch anybody up onto the top of the hill. That is a little bit unfortunate. Could have helped them out a lot. See, Void's just going to stay here, clear up some creeps. Radiant, this isn't really working out for them. This push is not doing a good job. Only one point to cleave up so far on Sven. He's already up to his Mask of Madness. Has the gold for that. Going to go ahead and put it on the courier right now. Lifestealer also continuing to farm it up in the dire jungle, really preventing the Void from getting too much farm. Void is farming lane creeps, but he's not going to be able to do that for very long. It's going to get pushed out too far. Radiant structures get fortified as the mid lane creeps push out a little bit here, and bottom lane creeps are pushed out as well. A pretty big creep wave down here, so that tower could go down as well. There is a siege unit here, the really weirdly floating health bar. So this tower could go down pretty quickly. Looks like there's going to be some rotation. So that really was a big waste of time up there on that top lane for the Dire. They weren't able to get anything done. And by the time they were grouped up ready with creep waves to go in, all the big ultimates on the Dire side were back up, Lasso as well as the Chronosphere. So not able to get that push going. We'll see crits actually going up on the Faceless Void, so that's really going to buff up his damage a lot. He might even want to go for an Aghanim Scepter build this time, or Mantis Style is another option, give him some additional attack speed as well as some illusions that will get crits underneath the Chronosphere, so those could both be very, very solid options here. Yeah, we also see the Crystallis is finished on this Faceless Void, so he does have a lot of damage, and he's passed up the Lifestealer again in terms of net worth. However, he's not got the farming potential of a Battle Fury Faceless Void, so not quite as good as it could be. Sven again is invisible and infested, looking to pick off the Void in the jungle. Unfortunately, he's not there. He backed out just in time. If these guys can get found, this could be a pretty good engagement for the Dire. You've got 3 on 5 potentially, although actually Dire are just going to back off, deal some damage. You know, very odd Sentry Ward there. I'm not sure exactly why it was placed that way. He's going to continue farming here. He has crits, so this could probably his farm should increase now with more right-click damage. Sven's going to go ahead back off, as well as the Lifestealer. Lifestealer just going to uninfest the Sven, so I give up. It's a good idea, but unfortunately we didn't get anything out of it. Sven's going to go back into the Dire jungle, do some more farming here. He's got a stack here. Don't know who did this stack, but it's going to help out the Sven now, using that cleave damage. Might even decide to use his, yeah, he's going to pop his Mask of Madness just to clear this a little bit faster. He will lose some health this way. Fortunately, not lifestealing enough yet to maintain that right-click damage, but it will allow him to farm up a little bit quicker. On the mid lane, going to see Void's going to the bottom lane. He's going to farm up there. Got 500 gold in the bank already. He's got 96 last hits. Let's go and take a look at last hits again. We see that Sven's on top, but he's very closely matched by the Void. Fortunately, Sven, I think, has a couple more kills. Yeah, Sven's got the more kills, so he will, as you see, have a higher GPM now by about 100 gold, and he's continuing to farm pretty fearlessly up on that top lane. really, he's being very aggressive here and pushing pretty close to the tower. He's got some backup though. 4 members of the Radiant team are behind him in case something happens on this top lane. So we're going to see and watch here, see what happens. We got Void coming in. He's got an ultimate, but he's all alone. Doesn't realize that there's 4 Radiant heroes here. He's in if he gets stunned up, he could be in really big trouble. Here comes the rest of the Dire team. This could be a very big engagement, 5 on 4. If we can get a big Void ult as well as a big Ravage up, but here comes a Nightmare. They're going in on the Void first. Fiend's Grip up on him. Yeah, it's going to get canceled though. Ravage goes down. Unfortunately, Sven had the BKB pop. Tidehunter immediately picks off the Bane. Looks like Tidehunter's getting low. Where's the Cronus Field? There it is. Not going to catch anyone under the Macro Pyre, but possibly going to have enough damage. No, there's Ion Shell on top of the Sven. Picks off the Void, and now Sven is low. Might get picked off here. No, instead he's going to go back in on the Backyard. Bad Rider is going to fall, and now it looks like the chase is going on. The last surviving Dire hero, Windrunner, she will be able to back out just fine. However, not possibly going to launch off that power shot. Not enough to bring down the Sven, but this could go badly. Buyback from the Bad Rider. Void doesn't have buyback though because he just used his gold for that crystal. It's going to use the knockback to slow down this push a little bit, possibly try and prevent the racks, but the tower is down, and that's the damage. There goes a stun up the hill onto the Bat Rider. Can we get a follow-up stun from the Leshrac? No, it's going to miss. Tidehunter goes in, gets a gush down. There goes another attempt at a flame break. Not going to be enough. Trying to get into position to take out this Sven, but Warcry is going to give them the movement speed they need to get out of there just fine. Lifestealer's still alive as well, and there's a mech charge keeping everybody pretty healthy. Force that forward onto the Jakiro, but it's going to be a turnaround immediately. Sven doing some right-click damage as well as the Lifestealer. Macro Pyre gets dropped again. More damage going down. Bad Rider gets picked off in the background. Looks like the Tidehunter will go down as well. No, the Juke. Warcry too much move speed. That's going to be a definite kill over there. Darkseer gets a kill again. 4 dead already once again. And the Void went down as well. Without those ultimates, they really weren't able to take the team fight, and so now it looks like we're going to see this Rax drop as well. Windrunner are going to do what she can with the power shot. Not going to be enough, probably, to keep this push from going in. 10 kill lead, as well as 12,000 experience and 12,000 gold. So Radiant in a very good position. 1 Rax up already, 25 minutes into the game, and this is, I mean, it's hard to trace it back to exactly what happened. I think the wombo combo from the Dire wasn't executed perfectly during that team fight. Your Ravage, I think, was very early into the fight, but it wasn't quick enough to allow the Void to get into position to drop his Chronosphere on top of a lot, and your Macro Pyre was not on top of the Chronosphere either, so that's a lot of damage down the drain. We do see the ultimates coming back online now, so a defense could be made here. That with all these teamfight ultimates, there's always that chance that the next teamfight can go better. You've only got a level 1 Macro Pyre, only got a level 1 Ravage, but it would be enough if they can get that Ravage off in time for Void to get into position for a big ultimate. It could be pretty important here. Unfortunately, he just really doesn't have the farm to keep up with this Sven, who's now extremely farmed. 4,000 gold in the bank, so look for him to pick up crits in the very near future and just continue to lay down so much AoE damage as well. I mean, seriously, it's just a ton of damage. 1 right-click ultra kill, yeah, that's what we're looking at, especially with this Darkseer vacuum on top of that. So, very strong combo going down from the Radiant team. Checking the Rosh, and Radiant probably looking to Rosh, but not quite able to go in yet. Dire are in position to possibly contest this, and a Rosh pit fight could be exactly what they need. Everybody really clumped up. Maybe if they can get a pick off here, no. Instead, looks like, oh man, you're in the wrong spot there. Hey, you've got a surged up Lifestealer headed uphill to pick off this Jakiro. Rage is going to allow him to ignore the Ice Path, and that means that Lifestealer is going to be able to pick off the Jakiro. Early BKB use, so that BKB on the Sven is now down. So this could be a little bit of an opening for the Dire. No, instead looks like Giggles is going to back off, picking up Gloves of Haste, probably going for, I'm guessing, I don't think it's going to be a Midas. My guess is that's going to be a Maelstrom headed into a Mjolnir. If he can pick that up, he might have the damage and attack speed that he needs to really keep up and do enough damage in a Chronosphere. We see 3 Dire heroes here, possibly in a dangerous position. Radiant team is all right there. You get a Surge Darkseer infested by a Nakes, and that could be a lot of problems. really quickly. Sven is going to go ahead and go straight into the Rosh Pit, pops his ultimate as well as a War Cry. Rosh is going to get stunned up by Leshrac, probably going to take some Edict damage as well. Nope, Edict not used. Probably just going to be enough damage coming in like this. Batrider drops in the Flame Break to slow it down a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Rosh will probably go down. I don't think there's enough that the Dire can do to stop it. If maybe Void was in a position, he could have done something, but instead, Sven's just going to get a free Aegis as well as 5,000 gold. I think he should just sell his wand and pick up another right-click damage item just to get him over that hump into the base and breach that high ground again, get that second Rax, which is really going to be important. Lifestealer sitting very aggressively far forward, looking to get a slow off, maybe. Doesn't have a way to get down. He has picked up a Halberd, actually. Very good item against the Void. So Void's not going to be able to hit him for as much damage. If Lifestealer stays outside the Chronosphere, he will be able to cast that Heaven's Halberd onto the Void and prevent him from doing any right-click damage during his Chronosphere. So excellent item choice here by the Lifestealer. I really have to say that I like it a lot. Sven has gone ahead and picked up a damage item of some kind, switching it out. I think it's crits. Yeah, it will be a full Daedalus, actually. So he's only got 259 gold, no buyback, but he shouldn't need it. He has an Aegis. And so we'll probably see a push going on the bottom lane pretty soon. Sven going ahead and rotating over to the mid lane, going to push out this creep wave and keep the Dire cooped up in their base and unable to head out and really take advantage of the creeps that are close to their base in order to farm. Unfortunately, Giggles has revealed by this Radiant Ward. He could be in a little bit of trouble. No, I don't think Radiant are going to go ahead rotate up towards him. He's just trying to get as much farm as he can in the little bit of time that he has available. We're going to see an engagement going ahead on the bottom lane. We see Static on ahead, gets Fiends gripped. Unfortunately, not able to pick him off, so here comes Void. Might be able to get a big ultimate off. Where's the Ravage? They need a Ravage right now. There it goes. That's going to hit on 4. Unfortunately, Sven was BKB. Not going to hit. Chronosphere is going to be used to pick off the Leshrac, but now there's a Nightmare on top of him. Not going to be able to do enough damage. Winnow is going to fall in the background. No, Winnow keeping her alive just for a little bit. Looks like the Void will go down. Only the Leshrac picked off. GG is called. So we'll be headed into the next game in the near future now. Too much power coming from the Sven Lifestealer combo. Very well laned on their part. There's going to be double axe now. No chance that the Radiant can really come back here, I think. So it's been very excellent game played, really on both sides. Got to give a lot of props to the Sven for laning very well and doing very well in these team fights. Lifestealer also had some pretty freaking sweet plays, and this Bane did a ton of work. I mean, just those Nightmares and Enfeebles doing so much work against the Void, so he wasn't even able to do that much during his Chronosphere, so that was a pretty nice game. We're going to wait for the score screen to pop up. Should pop pretty soon because all of the Dire heroes have disconnected, so just wait for that to happen. We'll see. I mean, Sven's such a strong hero. I wonder if he's even, like, worth that automatic first ban just to prevent him from getting out of control like that. I mean, you can't really take him out. Tri-lane against Tri-lane. At any rate, that's a pretty good game. That was game 2 of TurnofFate versus GloryPushMid. Game 3 will be up in just a minute, so thanks for watching, guys. This is Kingdom signing out. If you liked it, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. GG's, guys.